One of the most important things you can learn when it comes to making comics, aside from all of that art and writing stuff, is how to manage a project. When it comes to avoiding hiatus, a pinch of prevention is worth a pound of cure. So whether you're working on a team or as part of a solo effort, I'm going to give you some key ideas and things that you should try and keep in mind. Number 1, buffer. By far one of the most important things you can do is buffer. To keep a weekly posting schedule, you'll need a minimum of 52 posts per year. Obviously, this isn't the only type of posting schedule that exists, but when it comes to posting your comics, in order to set yourself up for success, figure out how many updates you need to make per year, type in your ideal schedule, and then do the math to see what your totals for the year ends up being. If it's weekly, that's 52. Bi-weekly, 104, 12 pages a month, that's going to be 144 pages. Now, the biggest mistake you can make when thinking about your buffer is thinking about it as your yearly, weekly, or monthly page count. It isn't. Your buffer is in addition to the work you want to do. To keep a buffer, you can't be wearing out your buffer. Before starting a comic, you have a buffer that equates to a minimum of half a year of updates. Why? Because that affords you the time to take off half a year for breaks. And when you're new to comics, you don't know how many breaks you're gonna need. Things will get out of hand way quicker than you expect them to be. If you're confident in yourself, sure, 3 months is usually fine, but the recommendation is that you make your comic goals for the year equal to about a year and a half's worth of updates, rather than just a single year. Make adding to your buffer part of your goal, so that when you get sick or burned out or busy with other things, you can take the time off you need. Your buffer is your savings account. Make adding a buffer an important part of your project. Number 2. Schedule. I love schedules. Schedules keep you honest. List out your goals and give yourself honest, generous deadlines. If you're new to comics, set deadlines to see if you make them and then adjust from there. Keep recording how long it takes you to accomplish work, and you'll start to get a sense of how much you can feasibly expect to do in a year. Know how much is feasible in a year, and it will give you the answer to how many updates you can actually expect to do. If through scheduling you begin to realize that it takes you 3 months to finish 15 pages, then that means you can make about 60 pages a year. That means that you have about a 15-page buffer and 45 updates per year. Make your schedule reasonable. You can't schedule yourself into being a comic-making machine, but when you know what you're capable of, a schedule helps keep you on track. A schedule that makes you miserable is not the right schedule for you. Make something sustainable, forgiving, and respectful to you as a human being. You are not a robot. Number 3, communicate. With all that said and done, let's address partnered work. When you work with a partner, keeping an open line of communication is important. You should all be aware of what the other person is doing and what is expected of you. It may sound silly because webcomics is all chill and artsy and cool, but schedule a weekly meeting. You will be happier for this. Having a time space where you can air out grievances, get on the same page, refresh on the schedule, it's very helpful. It's easy to space out and go off into your own world, but taking the time to discuss what plans are and what is expected is how you stay on top of things before they get out of control. Make sure to listen. You can't make something impossible happen just because you ask for it to happen. Be honest about time estimates, and instead of disappointing each other by failing to meet impossible standards, surprise each other by getting larger amount of works than you thought was possible done. And all that leads me to number 4. Finally, most importantly, break. The opposite side of the buffering coin is to take a break. Your buffer should be there so you can take time to yourself away from comics. The 2 main reasons that hiatuses happen is from lack of buffer and burning out. Beat an unplanned hiatus by taking a break before it gets to that point. It's okay to stop posting comic pages for a bit. You can plan a break by using your buffer, Or you can not post for a while. That's fine. It's okay to take a break and not post your buffer. You can schedule time off. It's okay. What readers hate about hiatuses is the real fear that their favorite webcomic might never come back. No one reasonable is going to be mad at you if you tell them you're going to take a vacation for a few weeks and you'll be coming back on X day. Your loyal readers will mark it on their calendars and they will be waiting for you. And if you don't burn through all of your buffer because you feel guilty about not posting for a bit, you'll be able to come back refreshed with a buffer still, and you won't have to worry about touching comics on your time off, which is perfectly reasonable, valid, and amazing and important for you to do. Take breaks away from comics. It's okay. And finally, sixth point, kind of. If you go on hiatus, you're not a failure. You're not a bad person. It's okay to take time off. It's okay to take time off and never come back to your comic. It's fine. It's okay to cut ties with something you don't like. And it's okay to go and tell your audience that it's done. This is too much. It's okay. And if you want to come back, you can. Start it up like you would a whole new webcomic adventure instead of keeping the baggage that was left behind from your hiatus. Start by building a new buffer and, have at it. You're perfectly awesome, and I commend you for coming back. So thank you all for listening to me. I really need to work on a buffer. I'm getting really bad at putting out these things late. Maybe I should write some more scripts. I don't know. We'll figure it out. So right now, after this, at 2 p.m. Eastern Time, I'm going to start doing my usual work stream. So come by on Twitch. The link's in the thingy down below. And if you really want help with scheduling and stuff, I recommend Habitica, which is like an RPG scheduling thing. I'm not sponsored in any way, but I do have, but I have started a guild for people who like comics and stuff. And to get into that guild, just put your name in on the Discord. There's a lot of instructions to this, but I highly recommend it. There's lots of people starting like questing parties and such. And if that sounds like something interesting, I recommend you figure it out and join us. It's cool. And if not, please come to the Twitch. Oh, also tonight we have our game stream. We're going to be playing more Deltarune together. I'm going to murder things. Okay, goodbye. Thank you.